Fact number 1, you're not crazy. Fact number 2, inflation for food has gone up 6.2%. Fact number 3, that is the highest rate for the G7 countries. Yes, Canada. Fact number 4, Mark Carney told us to judge him by the price of groceries. This was his campaign promise, that he would lower the price of groceries. Fact number 5, 10 years ago, an average family of 4 would spend approximately $150 per week on groceries. It has gone up by more than double, 127% in a decade. Like I said, you are not crazy. Food is insanely expensive. Fact number 6, more than 1 million people are using food banks in Ontario. We are now at record high use of food banks. This is the 9th year in a row where food bank use has increased. Fact number 7, there's a secret RCMP report that warns that Canadians may revolt once they realize how broke they are. Not only that, it says that whatever the situation is right now, it's probably going to get worse in the next 5 years. My friends, you are not crazy. You're not crazy in thinking that 10 years ago, life was more affordable. Things are getting completely out of control. Inflation is getting out of hand, and we should not be the top country in the G7 with the highest growth for food inflation. Ask yourself this question. Over the last decade, over this last period, what party was in power? Thought so.
Experts say Canada is somehow about to get less affordable.
Help. I feel like we've been asking for help forever. Everyone I know is struggling. I have 2 degrees and I'm working like 60-hour weeks right now and I'm struggling. All my friends are struggling. I'm like trying to financially support some of them as much as I can. My 60-year-old parents who have been in the workforce for 40 years are struggling. Like, how much more help? How many more times can I ask for help? How can I make it? Like, if I slit my throat in front of the fucking federal building, provincial building, will that? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
We need to talk about the difference in salary between the States and Canada. Because what do you mean someone in the States who occupies the same role as me in the same company has twice my pay? How does that work? And some of my friends are telling me, oh, but that's because, their cost of living is so high. Bro, it's not about that. Like, yeah, I get it. It's expensive, you got bills to pay. But twice the salary? That's crazy, bro. But hold on. Now you're gonna convert USD to Canadian. So that's more than twice my salary. Since we're on the subject, let's talk about Montreal. Why are we being paid so little? My friends back in Toronto, they're being paid more than me. What did Quebec do wrong? What did we do wrong?
Welcome back once again to the channel. Now, Canadians are struggling. Most of them are suffering, and they are suffering in a country that the entire world considers as a first world country. The Liberal government does not want people to know about the struggle Canadians are going through. But Canadians are confirming to us that, guys, don't get fooled. We are living in a first world country, but we are suffering more than people who are living in a third world country. Canadians can't afford groceries. Canadians can't afford to get anything affordable in their country. Everything is super expensive. Canadians can't afford to pay their rent. The houses there are super expensive. Veterans don't have benefits. Most of them are still working part-time jobs up to the age of 80. Youths are struggling to get jobs. Immigrants are taking over every job in Canada and are paid twice as less as the actual amount their wages are being subsidized. This puts Canadians getting job at risk. Canadians, they are saying healthcare is free. But at what cost? It's not free. And if it's free, well, you'll have to wait for hours for you to get free healthcare, even in emergency situations. Canadians are confirming to us that we are a first world country, but don't get fooled. We are struggling more than people living in third world countries. And in this video, let's confirm that.
How the fuck does this make any sense? Another 500 million donated to Ukraine, again, because they gave a list of items they need. Meanwhile, our own Canadians are going hungry. People cannot keep their homes, let alone even sell their homes. And jobs are vanishing every single day. More and more people become unemployed because of the tariff war and because of the failed promise our prime minister gave us. And his reply to all this, prepare to sacrifice. Are you out of your fucking mind? Canadians have been sacrificing for a decade now. Our savings, our families, our mental health, our lives, all drained by a decade of liberal bullshit that's exhausting people. We've had enough. The Canadian dream that everybody was promised has turned into the Canadian survival. The housing market's frozen, inflation's insane, and yet we keep being told to trust the system. The same system that can't fix healthcare, the same system that lets millions of uneducated and unauthorized refugees and immigrants to this country, the same system that lets repeat dangerous offenders on the streets on bail, the same system that taxes the middle class into poverty and punishes people for trying to get ahead. At what point do you say enough? Because let's be real, no one is coming to save you. Not the government, not your employer, not the banks. And take this video as your wake-up call. If you don't take control of your income, health, and freedom right now, you'll wake up one day soon and you realize that everything you relied on was meant to keep you dependent. You need something that you control, something remote, global, and uncancelable. Whether that's digital income, crypto, network marketing, whatever. The new world rewards people that adapt. That's why they fear crypto. It's not because it's dangerous, it's because it's independent. It takes power away from the system and puts it back in your hands. So yeah, Canada is in big crisis, but maybe that's the blessing, because only when the old world breaks, that's when you wake up and possibly build something on your own.
So I've been thinking about making this video for a while now. It's been on my mind, and I wanted to say that Canada's fucked. Like, I just got back from the grocery store, and the amount that $100 gets you is almost nothing nowadays. It's like one bag of groceries is $100. It's crazy. Yeah, it's making me worried for our future and for my kids' future. There's nobody that I talk to that says Canada's better off than it was 5 or 10 years ago. You know, like, so if you're an immigrant and you're thinking of coming here, hold off, don't. If you're a Canadian and you think that Canada's better off than it was 10 years ago, that we're in a better financial position as Canadians, I'd love to hear your point of view. It's funny because, like, I was raised by a single mom in the 70s and 80s, and she could buy a house. She bought a house as a single parent, a single woman in the 70s. It wasn't a great house, it was a duplex, part of a duplex, right? But a single woman in the 70s, a single mom in the 70s, sorry, could buy a house. Now, people can't buy houses anymore. People can barely afford to live. I'm not going to put it on one political party or the other. I'm kind of hoping that the election coming up will change something, but yeah, really, Canada's fucked.
By all accounts, Canada should be a very wealthy nation. We shouldn't have Canadians that are struggling to make ends meet, seniors that are scared, wondering if they can survive on their fixed income. We shouldn't have homelessness. We shouldn't have Canadians that are struggling to find family doctors. We should not have 8-hour wait times at the hospital in Emerge. It's absolutely crazy these days. No, I'm not exaggerating, because that is exactly what is happening right now. So today I was at the local Walmart, and on 2 separate occasions, I was only there for half an hour, and with my own eyes, I actually saw 2 different people walk out with unpaid items. Now, the first was a man probably in his early 30s. He actually walked out with a thing of baby formula. And then the second was another guy that walked out with a loaf of bread. So, what does that tell you? I mean, people are struggling to make ends meet, put food on the table for themselves, their kids, and no, not one Canadian batted an eye. I think security was standing right there and literally just let them walk out. Because what can you really do?
To some other news this morning, a concerning new report from Food Banks Canada says increased levels of poverty and hunger are becoming normalized in this country. Food bank visits continue to rise across Canada, reaching nearly 2.2 monthly visits. That's double the number from 2019. CTV's Scott Hurst is on that story for us this morning, and he is with me now. Scott, this is a really concerning report that...
This should not be normalized. It's not normal, and this shouldn't be the way Canada is today. In fact, we have spent over $50 billion in EV mandates that are failing. This is a gross negligence. It's political gross negligence by the Liberal Party of Canada. Food banks rely on our after-tax dollars. Do you think we get a tax write-off when we drop off food? We don't. And what we're doing is we're subsidizing the failures of our government, plain and simple. It shouldn't be this way. Government gets to benefit from taking our tax dollars and taking our generosity for their failures. And meanwhile, we commit billions of dollars to other countries. It's ridiculous. You see, this is an accumulation of failed Liberal policies. It's a compound effect that has happened over years. And Mark Carney told us sacrifices need to be made. For starters, why don't we sacrifice the aid that we give to other countries and start giving aid to our own people? Guys, this isn't normal. This should not be normalized. This is not okay. We are not okay. We are facing a food poverty crisis. Why do you think the Liberal Party introduced a food program, a permanent food program for our schools and for children? It's to cover up for their failures. If the Liberals introduced policies that allowed for more investments into the country, to allow for lower taxes, to have high wage paying jobs, if we had controlled immigration, this wouldn't be a problem. Guys, they failed. Them putting out these new programs at your cost and your expense for their failures, it's not normal. Plain and simple, it's a cover-up. You should not be thanking them. You should be disgusted with them. It should be disgusting that we are at this point that we have to fund this type of a program in the first place.
The Liberal government is great. They put us in more debt than all the previous prime ministers combined, regardless if they were Liberal or Conservative. That is fantastic if you ask me. They put us in billions and billions in debt compared to every other prime minister. They doubled our Canadian debt. So fantastic. Let me know in the comments below if you think the Liberal government is fantastic, like what I think they are, because they put us in billions and billions in debt. Not to mention, make sure you follow me and like this video. I want so many people to know about how amazing the Liberal government is.
Now, my beautiful Canadians, my friends, let's talk about it. As you can see, the struggle is real. It's not like we are propagating propaganda. The struggle is real. But now the question remains, who are we going to blame? Number one, are we going to blame the Liberal government or the Canadians who voted for the Liberal government? Are we going to blame the Liberal government for promising us apples and then ends up delivering lemons? Should we blame the Liberal government for promising us paradise and then providing a living hell in Canada? I mean, people are struggling, as you can see. And they had all these promises that they are going to make Canada stronger. They are going to make Canada financial and economical free. Things were going to be affordable. I mean, they'll come up with policies that will improve the lives of Canadians. But literally in 2026, 2025, things were different. Immediately, they landed into office. Now, should we blame the Liberal government? Or number two, should we blame the Canadians who did not vote right? Should we blame the government who voted for the Liberal government for making every Canadians go through the current situation they are going through right now? And before we blame them, do you think that the conservative government would do better than the liberals? Whom are we going to blame? Should we blame the Canadians who voted for the current government, that everyone is now suffering the consequences of those who voted for their action? I mean, the liberals, the people who voted for the liberals, every Canadian is suffering the consequences of their votes. Who are we going to blame? Because as you can see, guys, things are not pretty at all. The youths are suffering, they are struggling, they are complaining. The middle age are feeling the heat. Life begins at 40, they say. The elders, the seniors, they are literally regretting getting old. They can't even enjoy. They are supposed to be writing memoirs, wills, having a good time with family, friends, going on vacations, relaxing because they've done enough for the country. They've paid their taxes, they've accomplished their duties. They've done what the government requires them to do. Now it's time for their retirement. But instead, they end up working. You just walk around, you'll see most of them are working as cleaners at supermarkets, at stores. They are doing those manual work, part-time jobs at the age of 8. I've seen a couple of videos. Look at veterans. They've fought for the country. They've staged the country to be a better place. But right now, when they get a problem, well, you've all heard about MAID. Don't pretend you've heard about it. Well, you go ask the government for help if you are a veteran. They tell you, well, we believe that it's your time to go. We can offer a solution for that. I mean, we have a medical way of letting you go. You've all heard about that. And if you think I'm lying, just go on TikTok. Search MAID, you'll see, in Canada. So, guys, the question is very simple. Whom are we going to blame? But surely something needs to be fixed. And how are we going to fix that? Because I personally admire Canada. And when I see the people that I want to interact to telling me that they are going through this, I get heartbroken a lot. And I believe Canada will be great again one day. But for it to be that way, I believe there must be a will to change. And this will to change comes from the government. It should listen to the people. And the people next time, they should do something, maybe. Tell me what you think in the comment section, guys, because this discussion is endless. And we can sit here for days discussing about the same. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Tell me who do you think we should blame. Subscribe this channel. See you in the next.